Good morning. Just waiting on
Morning.
everybody to jump on and then we will get started. Let's see. There we go. Everybody's jumping on now. Okay. All right. So let me give everybody just a minute to make sure that I don't miss anybody jumping on with us this morning. And then we'll discuss a few things as well as our reflection topic for today. I'm going to grab my calendar really quick as we talk about some adjustments that are going to be made. Hold on, let me make sure everybody's getting on here. I thought I saw Daisha. Hold on. There we go. Okay. All righty. So, like I said, I'll just keep watching to make sure I don't miss anybody as we get started. So, happy Monday, everybody. We a couple of things. One, we are officially in starting today the second 6 weeks. However, teachers are kind of using the next couple of days to make sure that we get caught up on grades and everything. So I think we have until Wednesday to kind of finish working on anything, and then I don't know that they sent out anything about when to expect report cards, but I'm sure that probably is going to be happening at the end of this week. So a couple of things going forward. We are in the process of kind of getting geared up for our transition that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So for our freshmen and sophomores, we're preparing for those that are going to be starting back on AB. Again, if you missed the information or the videos that came out last week about that, we're going to be using the next 2 weeks to get ready for our sophomores and our freshmen that are coming back AB. And then, of course, we also have to keep everybody else in that virtual world on top of getting ready for juniors and seniors that are coming back AB. So if I thought things were crazy now, it's about to get super interesting. So I ask for everybody's patience and grace as we get ready to juggle this very interesting time period, even though I feel like I can't really cry about it too much because my fellow K-6 teachers have been doing this for a while, as well as those that are in the county schools. So I'm going to try very hard to keep my complaining and my crying to myself. So anyway, that's what we've got coming up. Everybody should know by this point in time what your plan is moving forward. Everything's been set up, so I've got to go in and look at those lists this morning as well so that I can start making preparations for who's planning to do what. And then obviously I can work on fixing our October calendar accordingly. And I'm going to try to make things as fair as possible, you know, for those that have chosen to stay virtual versus those that are coming back. And of course, since we're not really coming back on the same schedule, making sure that everything is fair for, you know, my sophomore and freshman versus my juniors and seniors. So it's about to get interesting real fast, okay? So, and that's why if you saw my announcement in the Google Class stream that we're not going to Zoom on Fridays. I'm going to try and use my next couple of Fridays to use extra prep time. Not that I won't be available for you guys, because I will be, but I'm going to try to use as much time as I can to make sure that I'm prepared for these 3 different worlds that I'll be juggling very shortly. Okay, So, like I said, a lot of modifications happening on your class calendar for the next couple of weeks. Obviously, there will not be any kind of observations or anything like that happening in the next couple of weeks. I am working on making some changes and hopefully setting up a couple of Zooms to where, one, we can talk with specifically administrators, hopefully, fingers crossed, at all 3 grade levels, but we'll see how that goes. And then also setting up a Zooming with our special ed teachers. I know I can get Miss Brumley here at the high school, but I will see if I can get maybe 1 or 2 of the teachers from our other grade levels as well. So those are our next couple of topics coming up, is looking at middle school and adolescence, and then talking about special education. As well as the very end of September, we're going to start looking and prepping our Teacher Cadet 1 honors portfolios, okay? So again, we don't really know 100% what those are gonna look like, but we are gonna start working on setting them up, and we'll just make modifications along the way depending on how things go for everybody, and obviously what everybody has chosen moving forward, for whether you chose to stay virtual or whether you chose to come back AB, okay? So that's coming up Wednesday of next week, actually. So if you don't have a 3-inch binder, and again, I really would rather you have the 3-inch binder that has the clear plastic covers on the front so that you can slip you in a nice, pretty title page. And next week, I'll show you some examples of kind of what I'm looking for and what you will work on building as we go, as we approach whatever our field experience ends up looking like, okay? And again, this is the biggest piece that makes that honors level component, is making and creating this honors portfolio, okay? All right, so we are gonna do our discussion today on what your reflection question was, kind of a memory or an experience of what you remember middle school being like. And hopefully everybody's okay with sharing that this morning. Let's see, and then that's kind of what our focus is going to be. Our focus is going to be adolescence, and kind of hopping around a little bit this week. And like I said, it kind of depends on if I'm able to set up those special Zooms this week or next. I'll let you guys know in advance, but I'm kind of setting those up as modifications to what would have been our observation time. And I'm not saying that we won't be able to do any observations prior to field experience, but again, it kind of just depends on the setup of everything. And like I said, when I get my schedule of who's doing what, I can kind of move from there, okay? All right, so let's do a little bit of a discussion and reflection this morning, and then of course I'll make sure if anybody has any questions that I save some time for that as well. So I'm checking all the things, making sure I'm not missing anybody's messages or emails or whatever. So we'll go clockwise, and like I said, I don't know if it's the same on your screen as mine, but Daisha, good morning. If you don't mind sharing with us a middle school memory, what you remember middle school being like, and maybe a specific event or memory that you have from middle school years.
I remember middle school just being a lot of fun, like a lot of projects. I started being friends with a lot of different people, and I used to be shy in elementary school. And once I got to middle school, I came out of my shell more. So I started talking to more people, and like I was never really in a clique. I have friends like of all different cliques. So I just remember it being a lot of fun, and like a specific memory is probably in 7th grade. We did this science project, and it was just with a lot of different people that I had never worked with, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice, very good. All right, Dalton, share with us. Good morning.
Morning. I remember middle school being fun. Like like Daisha said, I was more shy in elementary school, but then like I got on my shell more in middle school. I moved to UCA at 8th grade, and I met like new people I did not know really. So, and that was really fun making new friends. I remember, um, like the events, like dances and sporting events being really fun to go to. So yeah.
Nice, very cool. All right, good morning, Haley.
Um, I remember middle school being really dramatic because I was friends with a lot of people that were like in different groups, like Daisha said, but they didn't all get along really well. And there was just a lot of drama. And I was kind of like right in the middle of all of it. Like I was like I don't know, but it was really dramatic. But I learned a lot from it. And one specific memory that I remember is in 8th grade in Mr. Green's science class. We had and look for stuff on the floor, and it was really funny.
Nice, good deal. All right, good morning, Lily.
Hi. I think middle school was really kind of like chaotic, would be the best way to describe it. At the beginning, I think everyone's adjusting to like going to different classes, and I think that's what I remember most because like you're not in the same class like you are in elementary school, but you change a lot more, and like especially with our STEAM classes and stuff. And it's a lot of making new friends.
Yeah, good deal. Okay, all right. So bravo to you guys because apparently your middle school experiences were a lot better than mine. I'm gonna be honest with you. Middle school for me it was pretty awful. It was pretty awful. I unfortunately had I guess my ugly duckling phase to where I shot up, a whole foot and I weighed like 90 pounds soaking wet and I had acne and braces and glasses and, whatever else. And so I don't know, almost like a walking joke. And I'm gonna rat out my husband a little bit. I knew him in middle school and he was a bully. And so I avoided him like the plague because I didn't want him making fun of me, like I said, having all those issues. And so middle school just wasn't fun for me. I do remember all the cliques and the different groups. And of course, everybody wants to find their niche, where they fit in best with everybody. But I think sometimes middle school can be really hard because sometimes your BFFs from elementary, find a different group from you that they want to be with. And that was kind of hard to see some of those close friends of mine. We kind of drifted apart just because we felt like we fit in different places. And so, but it's all part of the learning experience. And I'm not saying that to say that it doesn't happen in high school, because I know the same thing can happen in high school as you get into different classes, or you have different tracks. Maybe you have friends that are honors tracks and maybe other friends that were looking more towards career-based classes and things like that, and sports and all kinds of things that can kind of pull you apart. So middle school for some people can be a very trying time, but you know what? You guys sound like rock stars. So don't even listen to my little sad story I had going on. Jeez, man. Okay. All right. So good deal. I just wanted to spend some time sharing. Like I said, we're kind of dipping our toes into the water, taking some time to reflect back, which for you guys was, middle school wasn't that long ago. So you definitely get what's happening for middle schoolers and the adjustments. And obviously it's a lot harder for 6th graders to adjust to how things are going versus 7th and 8th graders. By 7th grade you're starting to get the hang of it. By 8th grade you think you're the big dog on campus because you're the oldest grade level, and then you get a nice good reality check when it's time to be a freshman in high school and you got to start making your way back up the ladder again. So that's kind of where we're going this week as we talk about adolescence. all the changes that happen for adolescents. And like I said, we are going to spend some time towards the end of this week beginning to talk about high school students, and then of course also talking about special education and special education at all 3 grade levels, not specifically just middle school and high school, okay? And like I said, I am working on setting up those special Zooms so that we can hear from the professionals themselves and kind of get an idea of what it's like being in those different environments other than a regular ed classroom, okay? So I'm working on that, and I will let you guys know when those will be, and hopefully you'll be able to be on and listen and ask any questions you have, similar to what we did with our teacher panel. And then if not, like I said, make sure that you are able to jump in and watch that recording so that you can stay up with what we've got going on, because I usually will try my best to make sure that I keep any announcements or upcoming reminders, make sure that I include those in meetings as well, okay? One other thing, and I want to say it before I forget, is talking about FTA as we get ready to prepare. We lost Haley. As we get ready to prepare for actual face-to-face instruction, we're going to look at starting up the FTA again. FTA again, Future Teachers of America. I've already spoke with my TC2s, and we do have a couple of TC2s competing for the office of the presidents. Yeah. And then we also have a TC2 that is putting in for the office of vice president. There are 4 positions, and then of course everyone is welcome to be a member. Now what those meeting days and times will look like, I'm not sure yet. Again, I'm going to base that off of numbers. I'm going to base that off of how many TC1s and 2s will be present on A days and B days. And if anybody has chosen to be virtual, I'll make sure that you know a Zoom meeting time to where we can try and do it all together, okay? So if you're interested in that, whenever we start back, we are going to get the FTA up and going. If you're interested in an officer position, they're all up for grabs, so don't think that TC2s get first pick. It's president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Last year, we organized UCA High School's very first book fair. We helped out with teacher conferences, the mini conferences that happened fall and spring, as well as other things throughout the year. And we usually prepare for the FTA and Teacher Cadet Conference that happens in February. No word yet as to whether or not that will happen. Obviously, they're waiting just to find out how things are looking towards the end of the year. But that, of course, is something else that we plan and prepare for. Something that I had spoke to, it's the, and I want to make sure that I say it right, the North Carolina Foundation for Public School Children that promotes and sponsors FTA and teacher cadets. And last year I had spoke to them that they were supposed to be getting ready to make graduation cords for anybody that was cadet or FTA member. They gave out pins last year because I don't know what happened to the cords, but they didn't ever, I don't know if they didn't make them or get them or what happened. But I'm going to check on that to see if any seniors, and if that's something that they were going to permanently put in place for seniors that are FTA and teacher cadets. So just FYI, I'll keep you guys informed as I get more information on that as well. Okay. All righty, guys. I'm trying to keep today short and sweet so you can get on with your Monday. Any questions, comments, or concerns? No? Okay. All right, good deal. All right, well, like I said, I did pretty good today, you know, knock on wood. Let's hope the rest of the week goes that well. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Again, don't forget, reminds, email if you have any questions. And I'll see you guys again on Wednesday, okay? All right, everybody have a good one.